Sure, I know you've heard it all about image boards. Anybody that is a self-help nerd who's done a little bit of research has probably been recommended to do an image board, right up there with meditation. Have you really heard about them? And have you tried it? I'm John Coplen, and this is Architecting You, how to design the life you want. Image boards are one of those tools that if you really apply it, it is powerful. And my method of doing this is more of an image wall. Image walls. Yeah, that exciting? Okay. Walls are not always a good thing, but in this case, I'm talking about a wall that you can't avoid, full of images that you aspire to be. What's important about an image board is that you realize everything that we put on there is going to represent some component of your life conceptually. Sometimes it's hard for us to conceptualize and kind of step back and look at our lives in that fashion. I mean, when we were kids, we would conceptualize things all the time. We could pretend we were that princess or that prince, or we could picture ourselves doing something that we really wanted to do, and we could almost just feel it. But as adults, we almost never take that time for ourselves. An image board is a tool to allow ourselves to conceptualize our lives, to bring those images alive, and to help us focus on them. We're going to be focusing on things that are both tangible and things that are more conceptual. Goals that are really big and goals that are really small. Now, in a design process, whether it would be for a car, for a toaster oven, for a house, the image board would really set the tone and define the direction of the project. It would communicate to the other team members that this is where we're headed with this. In your life, it can be exactly the same thing. We are going to lay out the tone and the direction of where we want to go, and it'll be really for you. Now, if you want to let other people into it and tell them where you're going, then they can be supportive of those goals and they can get some visual. You would be surprised that sometimes when you let people know where you want to go, they show up and want to help. Today, we're learning about image boards or image walls. How to pull the images, how to conceptualize what those images might look like to different pieces of your life and aspirational pieces of your life, where to print them, where to place them, and really how to connect with those images so they actually mean something to you. And a lot of image books or boards that we do, we cut images, we paste them into a book, we get really into it, we look at that book one time, and then we put that book, under our bed in that box that we never look at again, and then that's it. We might find it a month later or 6 months later and be like, oh yeah, I want you guys to think image wall. I want to put these images on a wall in your house that you have to walk past every day, and you can't avoid it. And the reason I want to do that is because when we have to see something and surround ourselves by it, we naturally want to work towards it. It's just part of human nature. So we have to bring these images into our face. Take a minute right now and think, where in my house could I place these images where I would have to walk past them every day? Now, a few of us may live with other members in our house. We have to realize that maybe these would be seen by other people. So, there might be personal goals on there. We can find a way to represent those goals that have meaning to you, but maybe not meaning to someone else. So how do we go about selecting these images? Because you're probably sitting there thinking oh my God, I haven't even started this process. Where do I start this process? How could I even picture this thing? I don't know where to go. Well, here's the thing. Start from a place of categories that you easily understand in your life. Everybody can do this, right? Let's name a few. Family, pretty easy. Finances, I bet that one's on a lot of people's. Health, spirituality, home life, work life, however it is that you want to break this down. There's no wrong way or right way, but if you at least get yourself some categories, you'll find it to be a little bit easier to move in that direction. Now, you can also pick off things that are very specific. Maybe you really want to travel to a destination that you've had on your list forever, or you wanted to finish up a college level class, or you want to take an art class. Whatever it is, you can have specific goals. It could even be a short-term goal. I think it's really great to mix easily achievable goals with big lofty goals as well. So don't limit yourself. Allow yourself to be a child about it, to really feel what it is that you want. I know this is really hard for us, especially people who have family and who feel like we have a lot to put upon us in our lives. You're gonna feel like, I need to make one of these goals about something that is about more than me. I'm gonna really challenge you to make it about you, to make it selfish, to make it only about your goals. And look, if part of your goals include your family members or whoever it is, that's great. But what I want you to avoid is making any sort of goals on here something else that has been put upon you. So if it's like a church requirement or a family commitment, that's not about you only. That's about things that we have to do that are outside of us. And we all have those things. But in this instance, this is really only about you. You can collect these images from anywhere you want. You could take the picture yourself with your iPhone and then have that printed. You could tear them out of magazines. Or I think the best way about it, honestly, is to download these images from the internet. There are all sorts of copyright-free image providers, both paid and unpaid, on the internet that you can find. And you can download a kind of high resolution, have these printed at any print shop online, and that's what I would tell you to do. Send them off and have them come back to you. Make them all the same size. That's my recommendation, because even if it's a big goal or a small goal, it's still a goal. You print one black and white version, one color version. Black and white images come forward, and when it becomes true, move the color image to the front. And what you'll start to see is that these goals are coming true. I think if you can get them all to be kind of the same size and framed in the same way and hang them up in a cluster. Now, I don't care if you put them on a line or how you hang them artistically, and it could take up the whole wall. You could go top to bottom. There's no limit to the amount of images that you can put on there. So fast forward, we're done. We've got all our images. Whew, that was fast. I want you to spend 30 seconds, and I want you to hold that image up. And I want you to really look at it, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture it. So if one of your images is something about paying off debt, then I want you to picture in your mind the moment the last dollar of that debt is paid off. And I want you to feel that. Really feel it. Like, what is it feeling like to do that thing? This is what we call activating the image. Because now, once you've done that, that image really means something to you. You felt it. Once you feel something, it's very difficult to take it back. These images do not have to be so literal. For example, if you wanted to pay off the debt that I just mentioned, maybe it's a picture of a piggy bank. And that piggy bank means to you paying off the debt. However it is that you want it to be, you can make it be, as long as when you look at that image, it means something to you. And that's where that activating the image part comes in. Conceptualizing your life in a way that you haven't done in a while can 100% make you feel vulnerable. It does for me every time. I feel like, oh my gosh, is this really who I am? Could I really do that thing? You've got to find a way to kind of like just step into that and be a little bit brave and just say, you know what? I can do this. I can take a minute and just conceptually think about my life and just allow myself to think bigger and better and different and beyond what's in front of me physically. And that is the part that is very tough for us. We get so caught up in our day-to-day, and we spend so little time envisioning something more for ourselves. And I promise, on the other side of this, you're going to feel so good when those are printed and on the wall. And you're going to think, wow, all these things that I've had in my mind all of these years, there they are, right in front of my face. Are you liking what you see here today? If so, please hit like and subscribe below. And if you leave a comment, eventually I'm going to do a Q&A session, and I promise to read them all. We learned today how to step into it, where to find the images, and how to get them up there. The entire point of the image board is to force you into conceptualizing something different for yourself. By dragging these images into reality and looking at them on a daily basis, you bring them into your physical presence. They become extremely powerful. It gives you the power to focus on them, to reprioritize, to remember that when you get dragged into this other thing, maybe I really should just be focusing on that goal. I'm ending every episode with I am, because I believe 100% that I ams are the most powerful words in the English language. Once we say I am, whatever follows right behind that is just coming right at you. And so much of our internal dialogue is I am not good enough. We're so mean to ourselves. So I just want the opportunity every episode, once a week, for people to say I am something amazing. So say them with me, pick 3, whatever you want them to be. I am a powerful creator. I am the architect of my life. You guys are really awesome. I want you to remember that no one's going to do it for you. There's nobody coming to do this for you. You have to be the one to do it for you. And the only way to do it is to get selfish about it and to really think about, what is it that I want? What is it for me? And then go out there and make it happen.